Ever since I was a little kid, my brothers and I would always play Super Smash Bros. And it was the first ever platform fighter. It brought together some of the most iconic Nintendo characters. And later down the line, it added in some of the most important video game characters of all time. And for the longest time, there was really no other game like it. Sure, there would be some attempts to compete, but nothing ever really came close. Not Rivals of Aether, not Rushdown Revolt, not Brawlhalla, definitely not Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, but for the first time, it might finally have some competition now that Multiversus is fully out. But even that game, it's gonna be an uphill battle. But what gives Multiversus a chance to compete against the juggernaut like Nintendo is the fact that Warner Bros. Owns some of the most popular IP like DC Superheroes, Cartoon Network, Harry Potter, and much, much more. Unlike previous attempts at the genre, Multiversus has some heavy hitters. But there's one company who I think actually has the chance to completely rival Nintendo in the platform fighter genre. A company who has arguably even more popular characters than Warner Bros. And Nintendo. This company is none other than Disney. Today, I'm asking the question, what if Disney made a platform fighter? And here's my pitch for this fictional game. Enjoy. Let's start by talking about the most important part of the game. While Warner Bros. Does own a lot of things, the roster they have in Multiversus lacks any real consistency. It's not really as strong of a brand as Disney. So I think Disney can afford to be a bit more selective when it comes to making this game, and focus more on their animation side of things and less on the live action characters that they own. It also means that while Disney does own Star Wars and Marvel, I think it would be an unwise decision to include these IPs, at least in the beginning, because then it starts to become a Marvel game or a Star Wars game, and less of a celebration of the decades of characters made by Disney. So no Darth Vader or Iron Man, maybe as future DLC, but like I said, it's a slippery slope. Once you add in one, then you're gonna add in another, then it becomes Marvel Rivals. Also at launch, I will want to focus on getting only one character per franchise. I think this would be the smartest approach. You get the best characters from as many movies and TV shows first, so we don't have a Fire Emblem situation. And I also want to make the starting roster a clean 16 characters. More can be added as DLC of course, but I think it's a great starting point for a game like this. It's similar to what Nintendo started with all those years ago. And I'm going to be choosing these characters based on how popular I think they would be, but also on how unique their moveset would be compared to other characters. So, what would be the starting roster? Well, we have to take a page out of Nintendo's book and include their equivalent to Mario, Disney's poster boy, Mickey Mouse! Mickey Mouse would be front and center as the main character of the game. His moveset can include references to Steamboat Willie, his time as a sorcerer, and of course the game Epic Mickey. We'd want him to be a solid all-arounder, a true jack of all trades, and a very beginner-friendly character to pick up. He'd have cool alternate costumes like a black and white Steamboat Willie look, his Fantasia outfit, his hooded outfit from Kingdom Hearts, and just whatever drip makes sense to give him. Now, I know what you're thinking, what about Goofy and Donald? Well, I think they could be added later. Like I said, I want to prioritize getting characters from multiple shows and movies first, before we start adding multiple characters from the same franchises. And they honestly wouldn't be that interesting of a fighter as some of the other characters I'll be talking about in this video. Buzz Lightyear! Buzz Lightyear, the man, not the toy, is the next character on this roster. He would have a moveset inspired by his TV show, which is super underrated if you haven't seen it, his movie, even if it wasn't that good, and of course, Toy Story. He would definitely be a floatier brawler with a few ranged options and great aerial mobility. He can even have a skin that makes him look like a toy. And he can even come with a cool stage like Andy's Room. I think he just represents Pixar very well. And trust me, there's so many great choices from just Pixar alone. Like my next pick, Elastigirl! The Incredibles family has some great choices for fighters, but I think Elastigirl would have the coolest and most unique moveset. Sorry, Mr. Incredible. She would be a very ranged attacker, kind of like Min Min, but with a bit more vertical mobility. She can have alt skins from her classic look, to her Incredibles outfit, to her Incredibles 2 outfit. There's a wide variety. And her stage can be that 1960s retro New York City skyscraper skyline. Maybe Bon Voyage is in the background. Wreck-It Ralph! I mean, if I was going to make a Disney fighting game and not include the one guy who's supposed to be a video game character, I think I might be doing a bad job. Wreck-It Ralph would definitely be our first heavyweight, and he would 100% play like a grappler, very similar to Donkey Kong in Smash Bros. And Donkey Kong's my main, so he plays like very similar to him. I'd be pretty happy. He could have some moves that incorporate his ability to, well, wreck things. I even think part of his kit can include Penelope and Fix-It Felix. Maybe they'll probably just come in as taunts, but I think there's a cool way you could incorporate them into his moveset. His stage can be one where you fight on the Candy Racetrack, like many similar Smash Bros stages where you fight on racetracks. It's for some reason a very common thing in Smash Bros. Maui! Moana is such a popular movie, and a sequel is coming out soon, so you know they're gonna add Maui. And Maui would make for a great fighter. He will also be another heavyweight character, but his moveset will incorporate all of the cool transformations he does, from his hawk transformation to being a shark and everything in between. Also, his fish hook would allow for him to play as sort of a sword fighter, with a little bit more range than most characters. His stage can be the boat that he and Moana use, complete with the goofy chicken and all. Mulan. Mulan is the perfect character to play a sword fighter in this game. Sure, I could have gone with Hercules, but Mulan just seemed more interesting and with more potential for a cool moveset, incorporating Mushu's fire and even fireworks. She would play like a cross between Marth and Link from Smash Bros, complete with a really cool stage on the roof of that big palace that they fight at the end of the movie. She could even have alternate skins where she's in her military uniform. I really think Mulan could be a fire edition. Huh? See what I did there? Maleficent. Initially, there really won't be any villains in this game. I do think over time they can add villains, but I think the one that needs to be included for sure is Maleficent. She's kind of transcended her original movie. I bet half of you don't even know that she's from Sleeping Beauty. To me, she's a Kingdom Hearts character, straight up. She would be a full-on sorcerer with tons of projectiles and ranged attacks, similar to Palutena, and she can even have her dragon form incorporated in her moveset as well, with a bunch of different green fire coming out of her. There are so many iconic Disney villains, but she is easily one of the best ones to be on this starting roster. And if there is a PvE mode, I think it'd be really cool for her to be one of the final bosses. Stitch! Stitch makes so much sense to be included in a game like this. He would be a fast attacker with blasters, reminiscent of Star Fox, but with a little bit more projectiles. His moveset should definitely take inspiration from not only his movie, but his TV show as well. That TV show is so fire, I would love a reboot of that show, straight up. He can have so many cute skins, like him in a hula dancing outfit, or his spaceship suit. His stage can be either a spaceship map like Lilac Cruise in Smash, or one that's on the beach, which could look really nice. Elsa. Elsa is easily one of the most popular characters from one of the most popular movies of all time, Frozen. Let it go, let it go. So she is a must pick, but also I do think that she'd be really cool with her ice powers. Her moveset would definitely reference both Frozen 1 and 2 and all the powers that she uses in those movies. I think she would play similar to how Zelda does in Smash Bros, with even the ability to create a frost giant, kind of like how Zelda calls a phantom. She could have a cool snowy Final Destination type stage that would have the northern lights in the background and the just like wisping in the background as well. It would be so epic. Jack Skellington! Jack Skellington from A Nightmare Before Christmas feels like he could have a very fun moveset that uses his very long limbs for more ranged options, and also uses some of the creepy presents that he made for the kids as projectiles. He would be stupidly tall, kind of like Ridley, and will probably be hunched down a lot during most of his attack animations, but I do like how weirdly big he would be in this game. I think a stage on Halloween Town would be such a cool vibe. The Halloween Town music is just mwah, top 5 easily. Jake Sully! Avatar is still the highest grossing movie of all time, and the main character's name is... Hold up, let me look it up. Jake Sully. Yeah, I totally knew that without looking anything up. Regardless, a Na'vi character with cool weapons, a bow and arrow, and some guns would make for a great fighter. Their moveset would definitely feel like a combination of Sephiroth and Byleth in Smash Bros, with some cool references to both Avatar movies. The stage would definitely be on the floating rocks, and could be like Smash Bros Battlefield, complete with the triplat. It would look so gorgeous. Jack Sparrow! Jack Sparrow is a Disney legend. The Pirates movies, at least the first couple, are amazing. And Jack Sparrow would make for a really cool sword fighter with a bunch of his moveset, including all his weird trinkets that he has. From his compass to his gun with one bullet, like maybe he only has one bullet per life, but that bullet does like crazy damage. So you kind of have to save it for a kill move. The ideas for how Jack can play are plentiful. He's been in so many movies that there's really a lot of cool references that they could use in his moveset. His stage would 100% be the Black Pearl. Fighting on it would be a blast for sure. Also, give me that pirate music. Perry the Platypus. Now let's get some of the Disney TV shows some love. And easily their most popular cartoon has got to be Phineas and Ferb. So you know Perry the Platypus would be the perfect rep for this game. He would be a straight up hand-to-hand martial artist and play similar to Mii Brawler, but also use his tail for more ranged attacks and some of his gadgets for recovery. He can even taunt where he takes off his hat and does the thing, you know? It would be so dope. And his stage would 100% be Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated, with Doofenshmirtz in the background messing with innators that affect the fight, and just being a lovable goof. Perry the Platypus, are you in a platform fighter? Kim Possible. Kim Possible is one of the coolest original Disney Channel shows from the earlier Disney Channel days. It was a toss-up between her and TJ Detweiler from Recess, but I really do think that she makes a lot more sense. She can also fight with mostly hand-to-hand combat and strong kicks, while also using her gadgets like a grappling hook that can also act as a tether grab. I think she would play the most like Zero Suit Samus from Smash Bros. Her stage would definitely have to be the rooftop of Bueno Nacho. It looks like a sombrero. I think it'd make for a fun stage. You can even have Ron and Rufus inside eating like they always do. Or her stage could be Dr. Draken's headquarters with Dr. Draken and Shigo in the background. Either way, just hearing the dun 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 will make a lot of people happy. Darkwing Duck. The final TV show character I want to include is a bit of a deeper cut, but one that I think should be included because he's awesome, and this roster could use some spice. Darkwing Duck. He's like a duck Batman, complete with all the gadgets and the combat skills. He would play a bit like Batman from Multiversus mixed with Meta Knight. He could have a really cool stage anywhere on St. Canard, on top of the big skyscrapers or even on the mansions and stuff. It would look so dope, especially at night. I don't know, I think it's just cool when fighting games include some of the more low-key choices, instead of the most obvious choices. It helps shine a light on the franchise, and with the new Darkwing Duck show apparently in the works coming to Disney Plus, it would make a ton of sense. The Pixar Lamp? Now, in proper platform fighter tradition, there's got to be a joke character thrown in for fun. So, the Pixar Lamp, you know, the one that murders the letter I, is my final character on the starter roster. I think it would play like Piranha Plant and use its stand and maybe its electrical cord for its main attacks, with it even having a projectile in the form of the Pixar yellow and blue ball that's in every single Pixar movie. I genuinely think that this character would be so sick, and I think most people will appreciate a solid joke character like this. And that is the starting roster. After the game releases, DLC with new fighters should come frequently, so Disney can add popular and highly requested characters after launch and keep the game going strong for years to come. So now that we got the roster out of the way, let's quickly talk about the... Okay, so this might be a controversial take, but I really think a lot of these game developers need to stop trying to reinvent the wheel when it comes to platform fighters. They always want to change mechanics to differentiate from Smash Bros, like no shields, no ledge grabbing, dodge meters, focusing on doubles, etc, etc. I really don't understand why. Smash Bros is a solid game made by incredible publishers. My suggestion, if it isn't like illegal, is to just full-on copy the gameplay of Smash Bros. Smash feels fast, fluid, and polished, and a lot of the other games always divert from it. I think you should keep the shields. I think you should keep the ledge grabbing. I think you should keep the spot dodging. I think all these mechanics work. Sure, some may argue that doing this won't really make it feel like there's enough to differentiate it from Smash Bros, but like, the characters will be enough. An entire roster of Disney characters is what sets you apart, not your quirky mechanics that nobody asked for. Disney could literally use the same engine and everything. They could even hire Sakurai for all we care, and the game would be better off for it. Some people may disagree, but I just want to see a company just commit to that for once. Now, obviously, we want this game to appeal to people on both the casual and competitive side, so there will be plenty of stages and items from different Disney properties that should be included to amp up the fun party fighter element. Stage hazards will exist on most maps, but there should be a toggle to turn them off. You can include items like a lightsaber, a surfboard from Lilo and Stitch, the magician hat, or Mickey Mouse ears that give you Mickey Mouse powers. I don't know what that means, just figure it out. You can even throw in the Disneyland churro as a weapon. Just have fun with it, Disney. And also, taking a note from Nintendo, there should be items that spawn Disney characters, like the Genie, Mr. Potato Head, Ariel, Simba, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and just any character that's a fan favorite, but just not a good enough candidate to be a fighter. Another cool way to include non-fighters is to have a PvE mode, full of boss stages where you fight Hades, Ursula, Captain Hook, Oogie Boogie, Davy Jones, basically Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, in between there can be cool mini games and even a semi-story like the Subspace Emissary and Brawl. There's so much potential and they have the budget to do it. Now, on the competitive side, I have a cool suggestion to help increase stage variety. I think, like Smash, every stage, even the wackiest ones full of hazards, should have the option to take off the hazards. But also, there should be a competitive version of each stage. So each stage will have a version of it that is a unique platform layout that could work in a 1v1 competitive environment. So for example, even Wreck-It Ralph's theoretical stage, where a bunch of cars are just flying through, if you click competitive version, you'd be on like King Candy's castle or something, where it's just a simple platform layout. It would essentially just be another map. But what it does for the competitive side is provide a wide variety of platform layouts that just don't really exist even in Smash Bros. But now I have to bring up the elephant in the room, the monetization. While this game could just sell as a $60 game, realistically, it will probably end up being another free-to-play game that sells skins, emotes, voice lines, etc, etc. But in exchange, every character they add should come for free, or at the very minimum, be pretty easy to unlock for free. Also, I do think that there should be a ton of ways to unlock things for free in general through the PvE mode and just by playing. Even if they're just simple skins here and there, I don't want them to make the same mistake that Multiversus is doing and making everything a paywall. If it makes a decent amount of money, which I think they will, it's Disney, they can use some of the funding to help their esports scene. So I think if they're smart with how they push the game and support it, it could definitely be a hit. Smash Bros is one of the most popular esports games in terms of raw viewership, but it unfortunately has no direct support from Nintendo. So I think Disney should host tournaments with competitive rule sets and sponsor homegrown ones as well. Maybe even creating a tournament circuit. If Disney helps grow a strong competitive scene from the start, that will really rival Smash Bros, because the only thing keeping that game alive is the professional side of things. And it's not even that hard to compete with Smash Bros, because have you seen the Smash Bros prize pools? It's a joke. Overall, Disney has unlimited potential for making their own platform fighting game. One that not only could rival Nintendo, but they're probably the only company who could even rival other games of theirs. Mario Kart? Disney Kart. Mario Party? Disney Party. I heard they're already doing a racing game. And now with Marvel Rivals attempting to take Overwatch's throne, the mouse is in the gaming house. But I would love to know what you think. If Disney made their own platform fighter, what would be your dream starting roster? How would you design it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're a game developer working for Disney, feel free to steal all these ideas. You have my permission. The template is there. It could be a hit and I'll play it. Just please, like, if you're already making it, just let me play test it, please. I have so many insights. Once again, thank you so much for watching. But now, I'll catch you later.